The big news off the court yesterday, Doug, Alabama star freshman Brandon Miller. It came out that he transported the gun that was used in the January 15th murder of a woman that led to capital murder charges for his former teammate Darius Miles and one of Miles's friends, Michael Davis. That's what came out yesterday from a law enforcement testimony in a preliminary hearing. Asked by Alabama.com why Miller wasn't charged, Tuscaloosa Chief Deputy DA Paula Whitney said, "That's not a question I can answer. There's nothing we could charge him with." Alabama's Nate Oats went up and took questions right after he got out of practice yesterday. And again, the preliminary hearing had just ended, and basically said Miller is not in any trouble, quote, as a result of his alleged involvement. We knew about that. We can't control everything everybody does outside of practice. Nobody knew that was going to happen. College kids are out. Brandon hasn't been in any type of trouble, nor is he in any type of trouble in this case. Wrong spot at the wrong time. Nate Oats later in the day came out with a statement saying, listen, I screwed up with the way I talked about this. In no way, he said, did I intend to downplay the seriousness of this situation. Doug, what do you make of this whole deal?
Well, the devil is always in the details. And the first thing is there's this assumption from some in the media that, Nate Oats alone decided that Brandon Miller could continue to play. And that's not the way it works. Okay. The way it works, if you want to keep your job in this situation, right? Remember, Nate Oats just signed a contract extension with the number one team in the country. And I think they were creeping close to number one when this even took place. Is you have to do exactly what your bosses, the athletic director and the president, and then probably the board says to do. Now, those comments off the cuff, they missed, and people want to pounce on it. Okay? But if you read the details, what appears to have happened was Miles is in the car with him, goes into a club, leaves the gun in the car, and then at a later point, he asks for the gun back. So and they have to have some level of proof that Miller had no idea that this was going to take place. Otherwise, he wouldn't be anywhere near the Alabama program. Like we have to be reasonable here. Like if Nate Oats really felt like Brandon Miller had any sort of association or knowledge that this was going to take place, you really think that Nate Oats would let him play just because he's the best college prospect in the country? And what you're saying is everything else he's done his entire career would be completely false compared to this very moment. I don't believe it to be the case. I know Nate well enough. I know his background well enough. And the details seem to back all of that up.
And again, listen, Greg Byrne, Alabama AD, has been around a long, long time. He's also overseeing all of this. So like you said, this is not Nate Oats' decision ultimately. Now, did Brandon Miller make a poor decision here? Absolutely. The question is, to me, Doug, right now, when it went through the whole law enforcement process, they said, he's not a suspect. Right now, he's a witness. Now, could that change throughout the preliminary hearing, throughout if there is a trial? Absolutely. More facts could come out. But at this point in time, Alabama was cleared to play Brandon Miller. And I'm told as of right now, as of the time we're recording, they play South Carolina tonight. He is expected to play tonight because there are no charges, nothing against Brandon Miller at this point in time.
Yeah, look, this is going to, I'm sure, get panned. Our ratio on Twitter is going to be bad. But the reality is, if they didn't play him tonight, they would be saying, hey, wait, we didn't know all of these details. Okay, that's the reality to it. And again, Brandon Miller is likely only playing because everything he has said and told either the authorities or the athletic director or his coach, or remember, if he has told the truth and there's proof that he wasn't involved, then he's playing. And so if you're sitting there like, why don't they take him off the court? As Nate said, we knew all this information. This was all shared. Nothing has changed. This is just the first time you get a chance to see underneath the hood and actually what took place that night.